What's up, guys? Angel Perfect TV Killer back with another action figure review, and today I will be taking a look at the Marvel Legends Gamerverse Juggernaut. And I just want to say right out the back, the Juggernaut was the one I was highly excited for from the Gamerverse line. 100%, man. When they first announced this guy, I was itching to have him in my collection. So I'm very happy to finally have him in hand. He came in the mail just a couple days ago. I have released a short on my channel showing him when he first came in. So I'm very excited to have him here, man. He just looks insanely huge in the package. So can't wait to take him out. But yeah, with that said, here he is in his box. Obviously in the front it says the Juggernaut. On the side, we see art of the Juggernaut himself in game. And here we have the figure itself posed up right there. And on the side, we have the same thing, just the Juggernaut in a different pose. And on the back, the same thing with every other Gamerverse package. Is them in their game world right there, which looks nice. And yeah, I mean, not much to say about the package. Let's get the unstoppable Juggernaut out of it. And here we have the unstoppable Juggernaut outside of his package, looking extremely badass. And guys, I just have to say right out the back, this guy is heavy as hell. Like, this guy is literally as heavy as the Marvel Select Juggernaut, and that's crazy. And honestly, I love that. Makes the figure feel a lot better. And besides the weight on this figure, dude, the detail, like the sculpt and paint on this guy is freaking amazing. I mean, I like the browns they chose for this Juggernaut. The reds also, you know, not too bright, more the darker side, so that's pretty nice right there, man. You go to the helmet. Love the sculpt for the helmet. Obviously represents the look for the Marvel vs. Capcom. And you can see in there his face looks very, very nice. Love the detail on his face in there. The eyes looking nice. And yeah, man, the teeth, the lips right there, well painted. Everything on the faces looks well painted in there. The teeth, the gums. Yeah, man, even the eyes in there, nicely painted. And like I said about the helmet, love the sculpt right there. We go to the body. I mean, obviously with the paint, you know, not a lot going on, just the browns. But he does have some shading, but he only has shading around the chest area and around his thighs, around the muscle lines right there. But that's the only shading this figure has. But you know, throughout the whole figure, he does look nice paint-wise and sculpt-wise. This is a super nice sculpted Juggernaut, man. It's just throughout, it's just, this guy looks amazing. Go to the arms. Obviously, with this Juggernaut, it's just his arms are a lot bigger than the other one. Here we go to, you see the armbands right there. Looking nice. So, yeah, man. Dude, just, this is literally the definition of like a maximum right here, dude. We went from the old Marvel Legends Juggernaut to this freaking diamond right here, and this guy's freaking awesome. And not only the paint and the sculpt is very nice. I mean, we just go here to I forgot to mention, I mean, we go to the torso here, and you see the abs right here. You have a nice texture here, which looks very, very nice. So I really love that they did that. Makes the figure pop for sure. It's not like the original, that it was just smooth and painted. This one is actually sculpted, which looks very, very badass. I really do love that. So yeah, man, Juggernaut looks very nice. And obviously with the boot, obviously with the reds, like I said, not too bright, nice darkened red right there. So, and then we have in the bottom the boot, which is sculpted as well, which is nice. So yeah, man, this Juggernaut is well painted and well sculpted, and I do love that. And let's go through this guy articulation. So obviously Juggernaut's not gonna look up because of his big dome on his head, but I think when he looked down a little bit, not much. So obviously you're just gonna get your left and right, maybe all around. Yeah, there you go. Oh, his head popped up, so maybe don't go 360. So yeah, you got your left and right movement right there. His arm does go up about that far, and he does have a butterfly joint right there, which is very freaking nice. I mean, it does go back about that far. It does have some movement, not crazy, but it is there, and it does have enough to get some nice poses out of him. So that's cool. That's very cool. So he does got the bicep swivel right there. He does have the single jointed elbows and goes about that far. Obviously, he's not going to have that much movement. He is, very big. His bicep are huge, so obviously he's not going to have that much movement right there, but he does, bend in the arm, the hand, I mean. So he does go down and up, and obviously it swivels. My bad for that cut right there. A lot of noises just happened in the background and did not want that in a video. So as we were saying, he does have the diaphragm cut right there, which is very, very, very nice. I mean, it goes back about, hold on, let me put his arm back so you guys can see. Goes back about that far and goes forward about that far. Not a lot of crazy movement, but it is there, and it is enough for a big guy like the Juggernaut, and obviously does have that side movement as well. So he does have a lot of nice free range of movement on the diaphragm cut. So that's very awesome, especially for a character like the Juggernaut. He's not going to be doing a lot of dynamic poses, like a lot of crazy shit like Spider-Man or anything like that. So obviously the articulation isn't going to be that crazy, but it is enough, for somebody like the Juggernaut. So that's pretty cool. So obviously he has the diaphragm cut right there, and I think he also has a cut right here. No, he does not. It looks like he does, but he doesn't. So he only has the diaphragm cut right there. His legs go about, let's see, about that far, which is very nice for the Juggernaut. Does go back about that far. Not much, to be honest. He does have that thigh swivel, single jointed knees, and he swivel on the boot. He does not, but obviously he does swivel on the knee right there as well. It doesn't just bend. And he does have his foot goes barely up, to be honest, and it goes down about that far, and does have the ankle pivot and toe articulation. So this Juggernaut right here, he is loaded with articulation, in my opinion. Obviously not as much a lot of articulation like any other figure, but like I keep saying, for the size of this figure, he has really decent articulation. So I'm very, very pleased with that, man. I really love the Juggernaut. So this figure is just straight up amazing. But yeah, man, that was his articulation. Let's go to his accessories. Obviously Juggernaut here, he's not gonna have a lot of accessories. I mean, he's a Juggernaut. All he needs is his fist, and he's all set. But he does have some opening hands right here. He does have a regular open hand so he can hold stuff, and he does have like a straight, like opened up all the way hand, just like him just gonna grab his enemy and just getting ready to freaking beat them the hell up. And his hand is well sculpted as well. I mean, Even his fingernails are well painted right there. See the white coming out from the fingernail, which which is nicely you see right there. So I really like the nice detail right there going on his fingers right there, the sculpt and the paint, which is very nice. So yeah, he does come with these, and he comes with one effect, which he has also in the game when he does his one that one punch that has this effect. So this is very, very nice. I mean, I like how it looks mixed with some of the orange and the ends right here, and then towards the middle he comes with the yellow right there. So I really like the colors on this. Comes from yellow to orange, so really love that. His effect for Juggernaut, obviously you can put it right here in this fist. Is that what you do? Yes, it is. So give me 1 second. Let me put this on his fist and I'll show you guys how that looks. And boom, here we have the Juggernaut using his punch effect right there. Have him punching the shit out of the Hulk right there, which looks very freaking sick, guys. I really love how that looks, man. Like, I definitely need to, like, take a picture with this, with the diorama, and just, like, have this as a post, because this looks extremely sick. But yeah, with that said, I mean, you have the Juggernaut there using his effect. You see how it looks. It looks very, very nice. So with that being shown right there, let me just remove the Hulk real fast, put him to the side. But yeah, man, that's his accessories, man. Doesn't come with much, but doesn't need much either. I mean, he's the Juggernaut. All he needs is his fists, like I said. But yeah. Oh, and if you guys are wondering, if you guys wanted to know how to put this on, oops, accidentally removed his whole hand right there. So we just put that back. Boom. But yeah, if you guys are wondering how to put that on, all you have to do is remove the band from his hand right there. If you can see here, where did it go? Oh, here it is. So yeah, so obviously when you're done using the effect, you just obviously put this back on like so. So if you want to remove it, you just pull it out and you just put the effect. Oops, apologize about that. All you have to do is put these ball packs in the end of each fist and it will connect. So in the end of his fist. So yeah, those were his accessories. So with that being said, let's take out some other figures and let's see how this guy stacks up next to them. All right, so here we have the Juggernaut standing as straight as he possibly can. So now let's compare him to some other figures. And starting off with the size comparisons, here he is with some other characters from the Gamerverse series. Here he is next to the Marvel Legends Wolverine and Venom from the Gamerverse 2-pack. And he stack up perfectly well next to these guys, looking hella sick next to them. So really love how that looks right there. And here's the Juggernaut standing next to the 2-pack Gladiator and the Maximum Series Deadpool. And obviously, this guy looks amazing next to these guys as well. Especially next to Gladiator, because all I could think of while seeing these two together right here is from the X-Men animated series when Juggernaut confronted Gladiator. And I think Juggernaut threw a punch, Gladiator took it like a champ and freaking grabbed the Juggernaut with one hand, I think, and like threw him across the ocean. So really, that's the first thing I think of while seeing these two together. And talking about that, these two look amazing next to each other. Also Deadpool as well, but really love this chemistry here. So love how that looks. So here he is next to those guys. And for some heavy hitters, here is the Juggernaut next to the Maximum Series Hulk with a custom head sculpt. And here he is next to the Marvel Legends Blob. And even with the Hulk and the Blob, and these two are big freaking figures, Juggernaut still towers these figures like nothing. And even not only with height, but with like size and girth. Like this guy is just a humongous figure overall. And I freaking love it. This is really sick. I love how he stacks up next to other big figures, especially next to the Hulk, especially with them having a lot of rivals in the comics. So I really love how they look together right there. And here is the Juggernaut next to the Gamerverse Spider-Man 2 Venom. And if you can see, Venom towers over the Juggernaut. This is the only figure that from the Marvel Legends that actually towers the Juggernaut. But yeah, only with height, but with girth and even heftiness, Juggernaut takes the cake. But the Venom does overtake Juggernaut in height for sure. So here they are next to each other, which looks sick. Love how they look next to each other. But there you have that. And with these figures representing the Marvel vs. Capcom games, it wouldn't make sense to not add any Street Fighter characters to the size comparisons. So here he is next to a Storm Collectibles Guile and a Storm Collectibles Zangief. Now, with Storm Collectibles being a lot bigger than the Marvel Legends characters, they won't fit too well with them. But obviously with the Juggernaut here, that isn't much of a problem, especially for his size. So I like how he stacks up with these guys, especially with Zangief right there. This looks like a really hell of a fight right there, and these two look great for pictures together, so especially with them fighting. But yeah, here he is next to some Street Fighter characters. And last but not least, and if you guys can tell, I have to be really far from the setup for these guys to be on the screen. So that's why you see more of the background. But last but not least, here's the Juggernaut next to other Juggernaut figures that came out throughout the years. Here he is next to the Toy Biz Juggernaut. Here he is next to the older Hasbro Juggernaut. And here he is next to the Marvel Select Juggernaut. And throughout the years, many Juggernaut figures came out throughout the years. And I just have to say, hands down, and I think many people would agree, that these 4 Juggernauts right here were like the main definitive Juggernaut figures of all time. Back in the day, Toy Biz, like this guy was just the main Juggernaut, man. And throughout the years, Hasbro made their Build-A-Figure Juggernaut, which the first one came out, had a darker paint job and stuff like that. And then they released it in the 2-pack, which had brighter, better colors. But the only problem is that this guy falls apart all the freaking time. So, hate that it fell apart, but still very nice looking. Articulation was nice, and the paint job was nice. And the Marvel Select Juggernaut, oh man, barely any articulation, but the detail was so freaking good on this guy that it just made it worth it to have, and just looked it great for your collection. Even if you didn't want it any Marvel Legends Juggernaut, the Marvel Select was definitely still a good option. It's just that's how good this Juggernaut is. But here he is with every version of himself. Is just the best Juggernaut figures are right here. But throughout the years, Hasbro has finally made the main one right here. And with that being said, that was the size comparisons, and that's how he stacked up with everybody else. And with that being said, that was my review of the Marvel Legends Gamerverse Juggernaut. I highly recommend this figure, man. This is by hands down the best Juggernaut figure ever freaking made, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, people could think differently, but in my opinion, best Juggernaut figure ever made. Definitely worth it. Will look amazing in your collection. It's nice to handle, looks amazing in pictures. Just highly recommend this guy. But yeah, guys, that was my review of this guy, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.